Hey everyone, Kenzie here, back on the channel. Today I want to talk to you about a brand new suppressor that just dropped from Sylvan Arms. I have put a lot of suppressors on a lot of guns, and this one I'm really excited about. It is the SA30M, so Magnum Suppressor for 30 cal. From Sylvan Arms. And on the website it says, 10-inch can. It is actually 9.6 inches. And it threads on a 5/8 by 24 thread pitch pattern, so your 30 cal pattern, which is great. It makes it easy to mount. It's pretty lightweight. So this whole suppressor here weighs 16.7 ounces. So you're talking about a pound, right? And that's pretty same on pattern with like the optic that you mount if you're gonna go with an LPVO, for example. So you're not adding a ton of weight to the front end. The reason this is so light is because it is made of titanium. It's actually made in America as well, which is really important to me when I purchase suppressors and whatnot, because obviously we want to support our American manufacturers. But that weight is awesome for hunting, and that's why this was designed for hunters. And there's a couple barrel restrictions that I want to mention. So in front of me is the Browning X-Bolt in 308. This has, I believe, I want to say 24-inch barrel, if not longer. Can't remember exactly, but because I've had this for way too long, guys. But the restriction for this is if you're putting the suppressor on anything under 20 inches, that's a long action 30 cal, and they recommend bolt action. So I have plenty of length here. It's gonna be safe to shoot. The other restrictions are gonna be a 12.5-inch 308 with rapid fire or under a 6-inch 300 blackout. So very versatile. You can use this on a lot of platforms that you probably already have set up or built at home. I'm excited to get on the range and test a couple different types of ammunition, because if you've shot anything suppressed or anything non-suppressed with different recoil, felt recoil, you'll know that the ammunition plays a big part. The heavier grain bullets are going to probably shoot a little bit softer. Velocity comes into play too, could be a little bit quieter, just kind of depends on the ammunition. So we're going to test that out. And then the other thing you need to make note of is, say you zeroed your rifle before you had the suppressor on the end of the gun. I probably would check it again, because you might have a point of impact shift. Whenever you mount a suppressor, it probably will change a little bit, or it may not, but I've always had it shift, even if it's just a one, changeover on wind or elevation, but I would check that. The stuff that you need to know about the internals is, first of all, the whole thing is a grade 9 titanium tube, Cerakoted. And then there's stainless steel blast chamber, end cap, and direct thread mount. So you've got all good quality parts there. And then internally, you have a nitride coated blast baffle and a grade 5 titanium baffle stack. The blast baffle, if you don't know what that is going to be the very first one that takes the brunt of the impact, the brunt of that muzzle velocity, right? So that's going to be the one that takes the most amount of wear. So you want that to be structured or have, good quality materials in that very first baffle. So that's what they did the titanium for. This is rated up to 300 rum. Like I said earlier, there is the barrel restrictions, but for the most part, 30 cal suppressor, you're gonna be very happy putting this on different guns. So the other thing I want to tell you about some of the parts on this gun that I mounted. One of the most underrated optic brands I think out there is Maven Optics. So a couple years ago, I was assigned an article for one of their spotting scopes, one of their regular scopes, and even their rangefinder. And they're pretty underrated and make a really great scope, great glass, illumination as well, and a really smooth throw lever. I was actually telling my friend that's filming this right now, TC, shout at him, how different this feels than most other ones. And this ring is texturized. So even though you have the throw lever, you also have this texturing that's really nice, so it's easy to move. I don't experience that with a lot of magnification rings, especially not this aggressive. So I think that's impressive as well. The reticle is going to be mils. So I prefer mils. I recommend mils. Don't go MOA if you can. But definitely check this scope out. It's a 1-10. And I'm going to shoot this on this gun. I think it's going to group pretty nicely. Would I take this hunting? Maybe, maybe not. LPVOs are great. You might have a more simple scope. Maybe you want more magnification and go to a 2-10 or 3-18 or what have you. It just depends on what you're hunting, obviously. The other thing I put on here is an Accu-Tac bipod. Can't live without this thing. So first of all, this one is Picatinny rail attached, which comes on the gun, which is pretty awesome. They do make ARCA as well, but there's a couple different adjustments you can make to move the legs. And at a 45-degree can or what have you, you just pull down and set where you want it. So you can actually make this a lot lower, and then you just pull down and put back in place. To lengthen the feet, you just pull out per click, and when you're done with it, you just hold this down and it shoves it back in. The other adjustment is pretty neat. So I'm going to loosen this up, and now the feet move. So you can set this up to you, and then once you crank this down, they're locked in place. Similarly, you loosen up this, and the whole ball rotates. So this is going to be what's going to help you level out the gun. And then you want to tighten this down and then it's locked in place. Super easy to use, QD attached, but they make a great bipod if you're checking them out. So let me dive into the ammunition. So we're gonna try out, first of all, Precision 1 ammunition. Now, these guys focus on hunting ammunition. These guys get it right. They load all their hunting ammunition in batch loads. They make sure that it's tested. They do group testing and all of that, velocity testing, but they really, really, really want to get this precise, and which is why Precision 1 is the perfect name for these guys. I have their 4570 ammunition, and now this is their 308. So it's a 150 grain Nosler BT bullet here. I'll pull out what it looks like. Pretty cool tip. Anyways, it's gonna pack a punch. Now, they rated, let's see, 2750 feet per second. And that could be in different barrel lengths, right? Most people test them with 20-inch barrels, but definitely if you are doing holds or trying to know if you're gonna dial, make sure you do some chronograph testing to get the right velocity out of your gun, because this could vary. But I'm really excited to shoot this ammo. I know it's gonna group great. These guys are also making this in the USA, so awesome brand. Gotta show love too to LeHigh Defense. These guys are awesome. They're out of Berryville, Arkansas, so another made in American brand here. So this ammo is a little bit different. It's 155 grain TXC. This one was tested out of a 28-inch barrel, and it runs 2,800 feet per second. I'll show you what these bullets look like. So kind of a similar tip, not green, but black here, but they have an expanding, like the TXC, the hollow, not hollow point, but the expanding bullet here. You can actually see the lines of what it looks like. I would be curious to throw this in some gel testing one day and see what it does, because I know it packs a punch for sure. So these are the two loads I'm gonna try out. And I gotta show love to Run Gun. So Run Gun makes amazing ammunition bags, and in all different colors. I have a full collection actually on their website, 3-Gun Kenzie. It's teal, and it's an exclusive color to my line there. But this is their purple bag. They run a different color every single month and change it up, which I love. This is how I carry a lot of my ammo. And what I appreciate the most is that they can do custom etching on the leather label. So this is sewn onto the bag. I had them put 308 on here. Now I can't mix this up, right? So when I'm going out into the field, I just dump loose ammo in here, or I'll put the whole box in there if you want to do that. But this is how I can kind of keep stuff separate. Or, you know, if you have multiple types of ammunition, like 9mm, for example, I have multiple bags that say the grain weight, 115, 124, 147, whatever you want, you can do a custom label on their bag. So rungun.us, check them out. So anyways, let's hit the range, test this Sylvan Arms suppressor out. I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to sound good, but let's go do some testing and see how it performs. Oh yeah, just off right. Okay. So I had a half left already dialed in from last time. So it makes sense I'm coming more. So I just went 1.5 mils now. Let's find out. Okay.
So you're still right at about 2.5 inches off.
Yep. Yep.
Right at 1 inch off.
So another 2. We're getting there, guys. Zeroing is a bitch of a process.
Walk it in.
And I love it because it's fun, but also don't love it because my optics go on 1,700 guns a year. So they're always not zeroed. Hell yeah. There she is.
There it is.
Yep. Yeah, now they're stacking. Let's do another one. Sweet. All right, so that's a pretty damn accurate rifle, pretty damn accurate ammo. That's Precision 1. So for shits and giggles, this is awesome. It's zeroed for this. I'm gonna change over to LeHigh, and it might have a different grouping just because it's different type of ammunition, right? I'm not gonna re-zero it for that. I'm even gonna put the wind turret back on here now we figured it out, so don't mess with it. But that's the big thing with different ammo, is like you're probably gonna have a change, and it doesn't mean that anything changed on the rifle, it's just different load. Yeah, see, the LeHigh's off right, but not that it's off. I'm gonna keep aiming the same spot though. Nice little grouping there. Ta-da! We're gonna go downrange, check out target, and we'll explain the shot groups, because the last bullseye, this grouped well. Boom. And then the velocity difference, this is 2854. It's like 300 feet per second difference. Crazy. All right, guys, a little chilly. So I'll explain the target because I had a walk in, TC spotted my first group. So this was where I was shooting. I couldn't figure out where I was off. So we had to come left on the mills, a significant amount. Again, that's zeroing the gun in the process. The last 3 shots though are right here. Pretty damn impressive. So that was a precision one. I mean, I'm talking about, it was this much of moving, 1 click, 1 mil. God, we went, I think, a mil and 1.7 mils. Like, it was a lot on the wind, nothing on elevation. And then the last 3, I switched targets. This is the LeHigh Defense. Not as tight as a group, but still a very tight group. So that's, again, 3 ammunition. I love these Caldwell targets though. The orange peel and stick makes it super easy to see your shots when you hit the target and you're not on brown, you don't know where you are. But whenever you shoot these, there's no mistaking it when you're in glass. You can see it pretty easily. So anyways, I'm happy with that. And it doesn't look like there's a bunch of dispersion, right? So while I have shot this gun unsuppressed before and it groups great. This didn't lose any of its accuracy with the Sylvan Arms suppressor on there. So that's a win for me. That's awesome. And then if you're shooting or hunting, yeah, with any of this, my choice of round when hunting deer is 308. So like that gun's now dialed in, zeroed. I would use this ammunition I zeroed it for, but that's perfect for what you need for hunting. So make sure your group looks like this and not a shotgun explosion. Okay, I took my ears off, finally. It was really warm with ears in, actually. That did not pick up that round. Seat the mag, guys. Pro tip. Here we go. Ooh, baby smack steel. Caldwell steel for the win. I don't know how it's taken in front of this, but let's do it again. Eee, that deer would be dead.
That's sick. That is sick right there.
One more.
Oh.
Maybe 4 to play with.
Dead on.
Beep.
Sorry.
I have video. It's gonna be in there.